go do some more scouting, because this is the season of scouting. The season of trying to get away from as many people as possible.
While having more fun for you.
More fun for you at exit 222.
Scuba dee. Bip bop bop scabba dabba dabba doo bop ba. That's all I got.
You know, I ain't got nothing this morning either. Kind of siphoning through my thoughts on how to hunt, where to hunt. I thought about a tree stand, and I'm like, you know, I'm not ready to put a tree stand out there. I could go out there and, you know, I don't know. I can't even complete a sentence. When I put the tree stands up across the street, that was just on a whim. I went over there within one day, knew where I was going to hang the stands, hung the stands. I don't want to do that again. I don't want, you know, if I'm going to pick a place for a stand, it's probably going to be for next year. Maybe I might find a spot for muzzleloader, but it's a lot of work to put up a tree stand or a ladder stand. You know, it's not like you just throw it at the tree like it is in the video game and it sets itself up. Push a button, push the Y button to enter the tree stand.
Sweet.
That don't work that way. And out here, it's a little bit more.
Truck. There is no Y button in the truck. I don't know what the hell.
There's a couple of trails that I want to check out. We may be able to hopefully see if there were camps that were back there, or if there are camps that are still back there. I'd like to check a couple of those because, like you said, are the deer running linear? They go there and back. I mean, we know that they don't go in a straight line, so don't get on there and start commenting, yeah, they wander around. There's two choices, and they're not absolutes. It's not black and white. It's a linear, which they're going there and coming back, or it's circular. They have a circuit that they work that's a circle, that they start here, go over there. So trying to decide whether it's cyclical or linear. How about that for some fancy wordage?
That is fancy wordage.
That's the thing. If they're going circular, then a couple of the spots that I'd like to check out may explain how they're moving. Where if they're going linear, then we just...
Anybody out there fishing on a lake?
There's
no?
water out there.
Nobody fishing out there? Okay.
He's talking about fishing, and there's
maybe. Oh, you can't be out there. It's
garbage
duck banging season, isn't it?
Well, no. After the first week, I think you can go out there. But
all right.
Anyways.
I'll get in trouble.
So, as we always are, and we say this all the time, we are going to go chase the dragon.
Chase that dragon. Chase that dragon. There used to be a cartoon show that was like, chase that, what did they used to say? Oh, chase that pigeon. It was that race. What was it, The Great Race or something? Cartoon, remember that? I
don't know. You were talking about Scat Cat yesterday. So
Scat Cat's real dude. Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
That's what it all boils down to. If I don't have to poop, I'm not in a rush. Anymore. That's it. It's a good place to be. Is that squirrel? Yeah. Got all that traffic going back there.
They ought to be. No, they stay buttoned up out there. They stay. I shouldn't say buttoned up, but they stay locked in out there until what? The end of November, beginning of December.
Oh yeah, I think through the end of the month. Maybe this coming week.
I don't know. And that, my friends,
like a pretty easy one, but
that, my friends, is what logging looks like up here. I suppose it's a business, and a lot of it was planted and taken down. But you're right. Why did they leave some of these trees up? It looks weird.
Just like what? Yeah, like I get this one, but what specifically are they like? Okay, well this one is a.
So I got old is where we found the scrapes yesterday, or the rubs yesterday, and a lot of deer poop. So I'm just gonna sit here and hope for the best. Hopefully I don't stick out too much. Okay. I suppose this is a little bit better. I put this tree behind me, so I got a little bit of cover. Was sitting in a chair, but the chair was too obvious, so I'm just gonna cut it out and sit on the ground. I might have to rise up a little bit to take a shot, because I got some weeds in front of me. We'll see what shakes loose. So this whole packing in thing.
Does that mean it's on?
Yeah.
Okay.
This whole packing in thing is new to me. I'm used to traveling in light, high speed. So I finally get out there and I get set up next to a tree, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna set up my chair next to the tree. I got some background cover, but then I realized I didn't have enough background cover, so I'm like, I might as well sit in front of the tree. So finagled around, tinkering with this, tinkering with that. I finally kind of get settled in, and I'm kind of sitting there for a bit, and my gun's on this side. I'm like, well, I need to bring my gun over to this side, and I'm sitting, I don't know what.
You never got on your lap?
Did I say I had the gun on my lap?
You said it was on this side.
On this side.
So like sitting against a tree?
See, this is my lap.
So it was against a tree or something?
I was laying on the ground. Because I'm getting set up. I'm like, I set this down.
Oh, I thought you said you had already been set up. Okay.
Well, I was sitting in the chair for a while. And I'm like, this isn't going to work, because being in the chair is just, I'm too obvious. I needed the tree that I was like next to the tree and not in front of the tree, so I didn't have a lot of background cover, and I'm like, this just sucks. So as I was I'm getting all moved over there. So the last thing really is my gun, so I'm sitting mermaid style, if that seems to be a term, sitting like I'm laying like on my sitting on my hip with my legs one way, and
okay.
I'm just sitting there watching, and I'm not seeing anything, and I'm like, this is getting pretty uncomfortable. My legs falling asleep, so I kind of pick up my gun, and I do one of these things to hike myself up, and I'm looking across the clearing as I'm doing that, and I'm like, there's kind of a bigger blob over there, and then the bigger blob turned around, jump, gone. And I was like, Christ almighty. It was a big-bodied deer. It wasn't a fawn or a yearling. It was a decent size. It could have been a doe. I mean, there's big does out here. But the only reason that I say that it was a buck is it seemed like it was by itself, and it was on the side. So when we came out yesterday, we were on that side, and we followed around. You saw some broken branches, and there was a bunch of deer poop, but we're talking higher up on that clearing. And that's what my goal was, is I wanted to sit, get tired of holding the camera. I wanted to sit so that I could see across the top of the clearing and have a shot. And then there's a couple of shooting lanes that I had, so I was on the top of the clearing, not on the bottom. And I was hoping that they were going to come out of the woods, walk down along the edge of that clearing where all the poop was, up in the top, and I'm like, I want a shot to where all that deer poop is. And that's how I set up. And that deer, it came out over that area, but not here. If I was looking out, not like this, it was like that. And I saw it, it's just, all I did is saw it turn around and jump, because it's on a hill, on a ridge, and it just jumped and it just went down the ridge. No snort, no nothing, gone.
What was that?
So that's my story.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it probably, I mean, given that information, traveling alone, bigger body, and it didn't snort.
Yep.
Now, a doe, if she's with others, will blow to get everybody to follow her away from the danger, but a lone buck's not going to do that. He's just going to sneak away.
Yep, and that's kind of what he did, and I was kind of aggravated with myself, because it's like, I mean, you get into a new spot, you don't know where you're going to sit, you don't know if you got the right cover, so there's a lot of tinkering, and that's the problem that you have when you get out there and you're tinkering, and is, you know, you don't know where the deer are going to come in from, and that's exactly what happened. I kind of thought that the deer were going to come from there. That's where I was setting up to shoot, so I mean, I was right on that account, but I just, trying to get comfortable was just absolutely not easy. And then I got frustrated because later on my leg fell asleep, then my right leg started cramping, then my foot started cramping, then my side started cramping, and I'm like, all right, this is kind of insane.
So you have not done in the past a lot of gun hunting from the ground?
No.
No blind?
No. I'm usually, you know, like I said, bow hunting. I'm in a tree stand. I'm good at stalking. You know, my stealth wise is pretty good, but you know, I'm used to being up in a tree stand, and it's more forgiving than being on the ground. And not knowing how I was going to set up, and not, you know, it's just I didn't have the right gear. I didn't have the right setup, and it was just uncomfortable to sit there, and I couldn't sit. I could sit still for about 20 minutes, and then I had to shift and move, and then I'd sit still for 15 minutes, and you know, I mean, I knew what I did. I knew that I mean, I guess that's how they live. So, you know, he caught my movement.
Right.
I thought that I was out of the view, but he must have caught the movement nonetheless. So, anyways, so there's my story. I'm angry with myself for not necessarily for, I mean, I've hunted on the ground before. It just not having the right gear and not being prepped for sitting on the ground. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll talk about it later when I'm not going home to eat.